This is CBC Here and Now.
Are you going to have anything to say today at all? You have nothing to say?
Cabinet Minister Christopher Mitchell dodging questions after yesterday's hard-hitting investigation into the hiring of a top executive at the Rooms as the legislature begins debating it.
Just bury it inside me and say, okay, time to strap on your big boots. You're getting dad out of here by yourself.
An unbelievable ordeal, left to carry his own deceased father out of the South Coast country. Tonight, he's asking, why aren't there recovery protocols in place? Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Anthony Germain. Well, at this hour, MHAs are debating the Mitchell report, which investigated the hiring of a Liberal staffer for a top job at the Rooms. The debate is happening right now in the House of Assembly. They took a little break for about half an hour before we went on the air. It's expected to start right now. And the debate is expected to go on for at least another hour and a bit, and it will resume tomorrow. The report by the Office of the Citizens Representative recommended that Cabinet Minister Chris Mitchell be reprimanded over hiring Carla Foote as an executive at the Rooms. And earlier today, I tried to ask Mr. Mitchell about his conduct.
Mr. Mitchell, are you going to have anything to say today at all? You have nothing to say? You don't explain your conduct? Mr. Mitchell, you have nothing to say?
And so Mr. Mitchell just kept on walking through that door. Now, obviously, he isn't speaking, but the Premier is. Dwight Ball is denying that he offered the job to Carla Foote. He says the Executive Committee at the Rooms made an assumption, and here's why he's been brought into this. It says in the report that the Executive Committee at the Rooms said they were advised that the Minister and the Deputy Minister had said that the Premier had offered Carla Foote the position of Executive Director of Marketing with the Rooms. But Ball says that's not what happened.
The board, based on once the call was over, which between Mitchell and the Deputy Minister, then when they went to the board was at the understanding that I had offered a job, which I did not.
Now, Ball is promising some action following this explosive report released this week, but the action might not be what you think. Here and Now's Peter Cowan is live tonight from the Confederation Building. So, Peter, what is it exactly that the Premier is promising to do here?
Anthony, after two scathing reports, the Premier says what he wants is a third report. But this time he's trying to change the conversation. Instead of focusing on how a well-connected Liberal staffer, the daughter of the Lieutenant Governor, managed to get a high-paying position at the Rooms without a competition, he wants to broaden this and instead talk about how people move within the public service, and that's what he wants this report to focus on. But right now, the House of Assembly is focusing on this issue, which is what to do about Christopher Mitchell and what sort of reprimand he may face. Because of this, we've seen both the NDP and the PCs calling for his resignation, but tonight the Premier is standing behind Mitchell.
The minister that we're referring to here today has worked very hard. He's always been prepared, Mr. Speaker. He brings a lot of value to the cabinet table, to our whole caucus, and to the people of Newfoundland and Labrador, Mr. Speaker. So right now, I think what we're looking at here is basically decades of how we move people around. Mr. Speaker, he just becomes the poster person for what has been many decisions made by many.
Now, interestingly, Ball says he does accept the findings of this report. And so if this report found that there were inappropriate moves made in putting Carla Foote into this position, are they going to undo any of this and have an open competition? Well, in fact, the Premier said there's no need to. He says Carla Foote's been doing a great job. He credits her with the fact that visitors are up 5% at the Rooms this year. But the report did highlight the fact that a similar position attracted higher qualified applications from people who were willing to work for less pay. And the minister who's now responsible for the Rooms, Bernard Davis, this is a new portfolio for him, and he sees no reason to undo any of this. Why not act and say, there were mistakes made here, let's undo this, let's do an open competition?
Well, one of the things that we look at when you first get to a position like this, you see how things are operating. It's operating good at the Rooms. It's never been a discussion at any of our meetings with any of the board members or the interim chair.
I didn't direct anyone to hire Carla Foote, but she is qualified for that job. She's there on a contractual basis right now, and she's there to do a job. And that is what's happening there. We're seeing success in doing this, in doing the job that she was asked to do.
Now, we've heard from the current minister, but what about Chris Mitchellmore, the previous minister? And it's not just Anthony who couldn't get answers from him. We wanted to speak to him after question period today, and he wouldn't come out and talk to reporters. The opposition directed several questions to him in the House of Assembly today, and instead it was the Premier who did all the answering. So Anthony will have to see whether or not he gets up and speaks in the House of Assembly here when that debate gets going again.
All right, that's Peter Cowan reporting live from the lobby in the Confederation Building. Now, as we broke this story yesterday, you might recall Premier Dwight Ball not in town. He was out of province for meetings with other premiers when this story broke. But today he was back at the House of Assembly, as you saw. Now, here is part of an exchange we had today, including myself and other reporters.
Well, I didn't direct anyone to hire Carla Foote, but she is qualified for that job. She's there on a contractual basis right now, and she's there to do a job. And that is what's happening there. We're seeing success in doing this, in doing the job that she was asked to do.
You didn't order anybody, but what the report says is that you offered her the position.
No, if you read the report, Anthony, and this is where I take exception for how you're taking this. I really do. I'm disappointed, to be honest with you, because you're reading what you're seeing there is a decision or a discussion. I've never met with the board, never met with the CEO, not at all. So therefore, what happened here is somewhere between coming into that board from somebody I don't even know made a suggestion that this was a direction coming from the Premier. It didn't happen. So
does Mitchellmore call them and said you had made the decision?
No, it didn't say that.
It said you offered her the job.
No, it didn't say Mitchellmore said that.
The Deputy Minister, Lohman?
No, it didn't say that. What it said, what the report says, that the board, based on once the call was over, which between Mitchellmore and the Deputy Minister, then when they went to the board was at the understanding that I had offered a job, which I did not.
You said in the House, if it was the name Foote wasn't involved, we wouldn't be talking about this, but that's precisely why we're talking about this, because it appears as though a favor was done without a job competition for a friend of yours, and this has never sunk in with you.
Well, what we're doing is moving people around. This happens quite often within government. You actually can move people around. I think this is a good thing, because when I get the experience that I'm seeing from trying to get people to come into government, is that they do not want to be stuck in a silo. They want to be able to have the experience to work in many departments. But I think fundamental in all of this, let's not forget, it's important that we can actually move people around government to have effective management and to see effective growth, personal growth, so that they can be effective players in future governments.
But if you accept the findings of this report that this was an inappropriate process, why not fix that by holding an open competition for this position rather than allowing Ms. Foote to stay in this contractual position with no competition?
Well, right now, when you look at the executive directors, the two of them were put in place. Neither one of them have competition. I don't hear anybody asking the question why the executive director of museums and galleries, why that position wasn't for an open
She had credentials.
competition.
She had credentials.
Well,
you look at the form, everything Ann Chafe has is there. You look at Carla's form is blank.
Absolutely does have the credentials. And when you look at, you mean Ann Chafe?
I know, I mean Carla Foote.
Oh, well, so
Where's
when
the
you look at,
resume? We haven't
so,
released yet.
well,
Her
I
sheet
think
is blank,
if you look at,
right? Why is the sheet blank?
I think for those of us, and we accept that, and that was and the minister actually acknowledges the fact that should have been filled in. He acknowledges that. When you look at that report, there are two ways from what the report says that some of that information would have been shared, what the objectives, why it is we're doing this, would have been done verbally.
All right, let's have a quick look at the weather forecast, starting with your weather on the way headlines. We have lots of snow on the way for southeastern Labrador. There's a snowfall warning in effect for tonight and into tomorrow. We have a lot of freezing rain happening right now for lots of the island, central and the western portion of the island, heading up to the northern peninsula, and a wet and windy morning is coming for the east. So here is that freezing rain, that messy mix that's moving up the northern peninsula tonight, and that snow that's going to hit southeastern Labrador. There is a warning in effect. I'll get into that a little bit later. And some rain for the east tomorrow. Should start to clear off throughout the day. I'll have all those details a bit later.
Well, each day, Lloyd Fudge Jr. wakes up thinking about the mountain where his father died. The family was moose hunting on the south coast earlier this fall when Lloyd Sr. had a medical emergency, and for hours his son remained on a cliffside with his father's body, just waiting for a rescue team that never came. And now Fudge wants to see recovery protocols in place so that no one else will have to endure the same trauma that he did. Here now's Katie Breen has that story.
These are the mountains, the steep edges of a deep fjord, where a desperate call for help went unanswered. This is where Lloyd Fudge Sr. collapsed on a Monday in late September.
He was everything to me. He was my left arm. And losing that part of your life in the way that we lost it, and, that traumatic experience, something I'll never forget.
The Fudge family had been moose hunting, something they did every fall. A dad, his son, and 2 nephews.
I don't even know how I got down over the side of the face of the mountain. I have no idea. I rolled, I ran, I don't know. But I knew I had to get to Dad.
Fudge Sr. was 72. In good shape. These were his mountains. This was his lifestyle. They tried CPR but couldn't find a pulse. They knew they needed help.
Right there, that's the boat. So that's the boat in compared to perspective of where we were. So a little tiny spot.
One of the nephews, Roger, was sent out on his own, down the mountain and back to the boat. He'd need to travel out into the open ocean to get cell service. Fushy Bay is on the south coast of the island, totally remote. It's about 9 miles long, and they were at the end of it. Roger's instructions were go, call 911, and ask search and rescue for a chopper.
After 4 or 5 hours of being in this wilderness, time to reflect on everything that's happened, and our two-way radio breaks in, and Roger says, we don't have any help coming.
Fudge had always assumed if the worst happened, search and rescue would be there. It's what always gave him peace of mind out in the woods. But to get Lloyd Sr. out before dark, they'd have to do it themselves.
We looked at each other and said, do we cut sticks? Do we, try to do it that way? We were left with absolutely no idea how we were going to get this body out.
It was fish farmers who later came to the rescue. 4 workers from a nearby aquaculture project. One of them, a volunteer firefighter. They had a gurney and 100 feet of rope, but no real experience with high-angle rescue.
We used our sweaters and our jackets to basically secure them into this basket. Any point in time, someone could have slipped, fell off to the side where the cliff was to, over the embankment. I basically grabbed the rope and slowly let them ascend down over this hill, slacked them down, and the guys were basically on each side of them holding them and keeping them upright so he didn't flip or toss in the rocks and the mountains.
The RCMP didn't call search and rescue choppers because Mr. Fudge was presumed dead. Helicopters are for the lost and injured. Instead, 2 officers were sent by boat. They arrived hours later.
So that's his rucksack. He used to tape up the end so he didn't get wind up through it. It's one of the first times I've touched it since it happened. How did anyone know at that point in time that we didn't need rescue? Is the question. Was I in a state of shock? Could I walk? Was I post-traumatic? But I had to take all of the whole ordeal and just bury it inside me and say, okay, time to strap on your big boots. You're getting Dad out of here by yourself.
Fudge wants protocols to change. He wants trained aerial help to come when there's no easy way out. He said his dad's death and the recovery that followed was deeply traumatic. He wants people to feel safe when they're out in the wilderness, and right now he says unless you're willing to lie and say someone is injured instead of dead, that help won't come quickly.
I wouldn't want any other son that had to bring their father out of the country and deal with what I've had to deal with. It's a day-by-day process. Some days are good, some days are bad. Sunny days are worse than rainy days. Just because as the day that it happened, it was a beautiful day. Weather was great, we were doing what we loved. And the only silver lining is he died doing what he loved. That's the only positive that I can take out of this.
Katie Breen, CBC News, Buren.
Well, Katie, an absolutely traumatic experience for the Fudge family, and our condolences obviously go out to them. Has anything changed in light of this horrible story?
No, nothing. I learned the RCMP doesn't actually have any written protocols around recovering bodies in remote areas, and it doesn't look like that's going to change. Police wouldn't do an interview for this story, but answered some questions over email. They say helicopters are a last resort in a recovery, that officers will call for one in extreme circumstances. But, and here's the catch, nowhere is it defined what constitutes an extreme circumstance. And there's no indication police are working to change that. Anthony?
All right, it's Katie Breen from Here and Now reporting live for us. To other news now, the Federation of Independent Fish Harvesters of Newfoundland and Labrador, also known as Fish NL, has decided to dissolve. The group, led by former federal politician Ryan Cleary, made the announcement today. Now, Cleary started the group 3 years ago to represent the best interests of the province's inshore harvesters. After multiple attempts to register the needed 4,000 members failed, Fish NL dissolved today, and it won't be sending an application to the Labour Relations Board to get union status. But Cleary didn't go down quietly, taking swipes at the CBC for its lack of coverage on the wild fisheries. It also took aim at the FFAW.
I can't tell you the number of inshore harvesters that have said to me over the past few days that if Fish NL is not around, I may as well just check out. I may as well just sell out. I can't tell you how many times that's happened in the past few days. People are afraid of repercussions for supporting for Fish NL, for speaking out about concerns about the FFAW. Those concerns are real and they're legitimate, and every harvester who's watching this right now will know exactly what I'm talking about. There's lots of fight in me. The fight's not gone anywhere. But I've said right from the start, we can do this with harvesters. We can't do it for them. What's it like? What's it like being a pallbearer at a funeral?
Well, Labour leaders meeting in St. John's today marched to the waterfront. The Federation of Labour is pushing for a minimum wage in this province of $15 an hour. Well, businesses are currently allowed to pay workers as low as $11.40 an hour, and that's the second lowest rate in Canada. A three-person committee is reviewing that wage for the provincial government, but one member says there's a flaw with how they are constituted.
That there isn't a minimum wage worker on the committee. I'm a unionized worker. I have great benefits and a good paying job. So I've been fighting my hardest to at the table to get that raise. But unfortunately, lived experiences are really important, and those voices aren't at the table at the moment.
A Corner Brook company has been charged with violating health and safety regulations after an employee died on the job in Labrador. Johnson's Construction Limited has been charged under the Occupational Health and Safety Act. Now, the death happened at a construction camp near Lodge Bay on the Trans-Labrador Highway in June of 2018. The 41-year-old worker was from Pond Cove, a small community on the Northern Peninsula. Johnson's Construction has been charged with several offences, including failing to maintain a safe workplace and ensuring workers and supervisors were made aware of the hazards. The elected leader of the Nunatsiavut government in Northern Labrador has resigned. Kate Mitchell is no longer the First Minister and Minister of Nunatsiavut Affairs, but she will stay on as an ordinary member for Makkovik. Nunatsiavut President Johannes Lamp said in a statement that Mitchell acted inappropriately as minister responsible for housing by interfering in matters that are the responsibility of Torngat Regional Housing Association. Tony Anderson, the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, will temporarily assume the role as acting First Minister and Minister of Nunatsiavut Affairs. Well, it's been more than 2 years since a collapsed gym ceiling shut down a St. John's school. While repairs are underway, K-6 students are being bused to a school across town. Well, the province says Bishop Field is going to reopen, but exactly when that will be, well, that's a moving target that has again moved. Here and Now's Mark Quinn reports.
It's been a long time since a school bus has brought students here to Bishop Field. Parents were told the school would reopen in January, but that date is just being bumped by another 3 months.
More long bus rides, more disappointment for children who want to be returning to our school, especially the grade 6 students, of which my daughter is one. She wants to be back in her school. The kids want to be back in their community. They want to be back near where they live so that they can go to school in their community.
Parents are frustrated, and at the Confederation building, they're using the F word too.
Well, I share their frustration. You know, we've set out deadlines as a department. You know, our staff has been active on this file. We want to get this project done as well. And I can understand them wanting to get their kids back in there. But the reality is here, we have to make sure that when the children go back into that environment, it's safe.
Newfoundland's easternmost city is wet, and some of that water is getting into Bishop Field's cursed gym.
And we're going to find the source of this water issue that we have right now and resolve it.
Back at the school, some parents are losing faith in the provincial government.
Well, no one's trusting anything that they're saying right now. I mean, you know, we even have parents who say, I never thought that was going to happen in January. That's the level of cynicism that this school population has now towards this government. They really need to look at the Minister Crocker, and even going to other ministers like Mitchell Moore. They're looking at real integrity issues here, and it's affecting their whole reputation as a government in this province, and they really need to look at how they handle the constituents that put them in government.
Crocker's asking parents to be patient. He hopes this latest setback will be the last one. Mark Quinn, CBC News, St. John's.
So you're looking at some fire jugglers here on Military Road. It's a bit of a street party here tonight, all to raise money for Stella's Circle. It's Light Up Hope, their annual event, and we're here live, and we'll have a lot more on this, including hopefully more fire dancing, coming up on Here and Now.
We saw downtown St. John's a little bit of rain to contend with, which we'll get in a moment, but it's time for the Carolyn Stokes Nature Hour.
Yes, well, if you were watching yesterday, the end of the show, we had this great shot of a seal in Kings Point with a whale in the background, and I did get another photo of that same seal in Kings Point.
Different angle.
Yeah, and you can see his face a little bit better.
Yeah, a little
just
pause.
a very cute.
The flippers.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin Philpott, for sending that in.
Here you go, just the other side of it.
Yeah,
kind of cool.
Great shot.
Thanks, Kevin.
So we have lots to talk about. A bunch of warnings in effect. We have a wind warning for the Rec House area for tonight. Could see gusts upwards of 120 kilometers an hour. Then we have this freezing rain warning in effect from Gander over to the west coast and the south coast, up to 10 millimeters of freezing rain tonight. And that will be moving up to the tip of the northern peninsula where there will be that wintry mix there, a special weather statement in effect there, about 10 to 15 centimeters of snow associated with that system. And then for Labrador into tomorrow, tonight and tomorrow, we have a snowfall warning in effect for the Norman Bay, Lodge Bay area, Port Hope Simpson, looking at about 10 to 20 centimeters of snow there. But everyone in that southeastern portion will be getting snow as well. So looking ahead to see how this will track out, this is the freezing rain, that messy mix that's working its way up the island. Some heavier rain in behind, and some wet weather for the east tonight. And you can see that snow moving up through to southeastern Labrador. Oops, and I did not mean to. Oh, there we go. Sorry, let's just go back because we want to look at all of this stuff that's coming down tonight. There is quite a bit of rain and quite a bit of snow. There we go. So St. John's even looking at 10 millimeters of rain tonight. Winds a little bit strong, gusting up to 50. And then we have 5 millimeters of freezing rain for Gander, 5 to 10 in the Harbor Breton area. And on the west coast, it's going to be quite windy. We do have that wind warning in effect, but going right up the west coast, it'll be windy as well with gusts up to 80 kilometers an hour. In the St. Anthony area, looking at about 5 to 15 centimeters of wet snow and freezing rain, ice pellets tonight. So Cartwright area along the straits looking at 5 to 10 centimeters of snow this evening and more to come tomorrow. And yeah, so you can see the snow in southeastern Labrador it'll continue throughout the day. So it'll be a heavier snow throughout the day. Things are clearing off for the east. Some rain in the morning, but then a mostly cloudy day expected there. A few flurries on the west coast. About 2 to 4 millimeters of rain expected mostly in the morning, but it is going to be very breezy in St. John's tomorrow. We have gusts up to 70 kilometers an hour. Very warm, 8 degrees at about midnight tonight, actually. It should be around 10 degrees, so we'll have that bump in temperatures, and then it's going to continue to drop down. For central areas, 5 millimeters of rain for the Grand Falls, Windsor, heavier rain along the coast. It's going to be very windy there as well. For Corner Brook, looking at some flurries there. 2 to 4 millimeters of rain for the Port aux Basques area and 3 degrees. So this is that system that's continuing to bring snow to southeastern Labrador and the Straits. 5 to 10 centimeters tomorrow, 10 for Cartwright, the temperature around the freezing mark. And for the rest of Labrador, looking at some light snowfall for Happy Valley, Goose Bay, and Labrador City. Looking at a mix of sun and cloud and some light winds, cool temperatures at -12. And that's your forecast.
All right, let's check in with Here Now's Jeremy Eaton, who is inside of Rawlins Cross tonight for Stella's Circle annual Light Up Hope event. Stella's Circle works to help transform lives of struggling adults in and around St. John's, and the fundraising campaign that starts tonight helps fund all of that good work. So Jeremy, pretty happening spot there. What's going on?
Well, you know, it wouldn't be a Jeremy Eaton hit without a terrible joke, but the rain down here certainly hasn't dampened the spirits of anybody here in the middle of Military Road in the center of Rawlins Cross. The rain is coming down a bit, but the fire dancers are there in the background that we saw earlier. There's music playing from DJ Slim Macho. Homemade jams, there's lots of cookie, and there's also Gail who works for Stella Circle. Gail, thanks for joining us.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm delighted.
So this is the 5th annual Light Up Hope event. What is this event all about?
So this is actually the official kickoff to the holiday season for Stella's Circle, and we hope for many of our community members, including our participants at Stella's Circle. As you said, Jeremy, this is our 5th year doing Light Up Hope here in beautiful Rollins Cross. And we coincide the Light Up Hope event with Giving Tuesday. Many people know now that Giving Tuesday is a global day of giving that follows Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And it's really an opportunity for our community to come out and celebrate the start of the season. And many of our community members want to give back at this time of the year and to remember the true meaning of the season. So all the community can come out this evening, participate in all the fun activities that you just mentioned as we went on the air, and also to consider giving to Stella's Circle during this time.
How important is this event? As we've said, this is the 5th year that you've been hosting this fundraiser. How important is this event to help fund the programs that you run here?
Very important. I mean, every year we have generous support from the community, and many people will do that again tonight. You can do that in a couple of ways, stellascircle.ca, or you can also text Light Up Hope to 20222, and for every donation that's made, Blue Drop will match that. So your $10 donation becomes a $20 donation. And many of our donors wait till this event to actually give their donation because they know it's going to be matched by Blue Drop. So it's a wonderful event, a feel-good event, and the money raised goes back to supporting the programs and services that Stella Circle offers.
For people who don't know, what are the programs that Stella Circle offers?
So our vision at Stella's Circle is a home, a job, and a community. And our programs are counseling programs, employment programs, and housing programs.
Now we, later on, I know that you work for the company, so but we're going to speak to somebody who's availed of those services. And really quickly now, we only got a couple seconds. How proud of you are Adam Harnham? How proud are you of Adam Harnham, who we're going to meet now in the next half hour?
Well, he represents many of the individuals that come to us at Stella's Circle who are struggling with many barriers to fully participating in our community. And they come to Stella's Circle and they get to participate and have opportunities that present hope for them and help them on their path to recovery. And he's an example of somebody who received what he needed from us to be able to participate more fully in the community. So it's fantastic.
Well, we got to wrap it up there, Gail. Thanks so much for joining us, and thanks so much for the cookies. Appreciate it.
Enjoy some more. Enjoy some more.
So that's it from here at Stella's Circle. We'll check back in with you in studio.
Come up with flavoring ourselves, so you don't know how it's going to turn out, but every one has turned out fantastic, and we get great reviews on all of them.
Look at that. The farmers churning out a first for the province. Meet the Cormac goats and their farmers. Next on Here and Now.
and find the parts of my story that inspire hope and pull the positives out so that I'm not overwhelmed by the negative and overwhelmed by the trauma and overwhelmed by the pain.
I guess I haven't dealt with it in a way, and like now it's all starting to,
yeah. If you had never have fought for us, for people like you, then we wouldn't be here. So thanks to you, man.
stand up and try to like have a voice to try to stop this from happening. No one should be bought, ever. Here we are.
Welcome back. The Office to Advance Women Apprentices is marking a milestone today. The group is celebrating 10 years of helping women get into the trades. The office opened to help women study and find work in skilled trades areas. Those are typically male-dominated. In its first year, it helped 10 women get training and find careers, and now it has helped more than 1,900 women. The group says in this province, about 14% of tradespeople are women, and that's actually much higher than other provinces where it's about 4%. The local office has also been a role model to other provinces which have set up their own programs.
I started 9 years ago, there's only one woman on a job site, or there's no woman. Now women are saying to me, we're everywhere, we're on every job site, we're fine. The problem still exists in the school system. It's still university first, and if you're not smart enough, then go to the trades. But actually, it's been proven differently. You need that education if you're going to be an experienced tradesperson, for sure.
In 2004, when I graduated, there was no Office to Advance Women Apprentices. There was nobody approaching me to even say, you have opportunities here, why don't you look into them? And like I said, it was, what degree are you getting at one? Not, what would you like to do with your life?
So that's where we still see the gap, and we've just received some federal funding to work with women and colleges and schools to try and change that.
You might have noticed we invited them to our construction area here at the CBC. Well, tonight there's a gala at the Holiday Inn in St. John's to celebrate this 10th anniversary, and that's where they're going to hand out an award to a trailblazer of women in the trades. Well, when it comes to services and personnel in the new year, the town of Happy Valley Goose Bay says it will maintain the status quo, but homeowners are going to have to pay a little bit more. The town is raising the mill rate by half a point. That means a house valued at about $300,000 will now owe about $150 more in taxes. According to one councillor, this is the first time in more than a decade that the town has had to increase taxes. Now, it claws back at a large reduction to the municipal tax in 2016 when council reduced property taxes by more than 20%.
It's a slight increase. We wouldn't consider it major, but of course nobody wants to see tax increases. Everybody wants to see tax reduced. But we're going to continue to build our community, to improve services, to hire the necessary personnel that we need to be able to carry out operations in our town. Then decisions have to be made. Sometimes they're not easy decisions to make.
Well, staying with municipal budgets, some people on the West Coast doing cartwheels today. The city of Corner Brook is getting rid of its poll tax. The move has been in the works for years, with the city saying the tax on every adult has unfairly targeted young people and residents with lower incomes. Now, this decision was part of the 2020 Budget Council tabled last night. It was a good news budget with no increases to property tax, business tax rates, or water and wastewater rates in the coming year. I think I'll be moving to Corner Brook. Now, for you foodies, if you're a fan of cheese, this next story is for you. A goat dairy farm in Cormac is now producing goat's cheese, and it may not stop there. As Here Now's Troy Turner reports, this is an agricultural first for the province.
The goats at 8th Day Acres Farm in Cormac are a curious bunch, and there are more than 130 of them to make your business theirs. They're also the sole producers of several cheeses found across the island. 8th Day Acres is the brainchild of the Bennett family.
The farming thing was in the family anyway, and that was the dream. But we figured just do something different from what everybody else is doing, and goat dairy seemed the best way to go because there's no other one here on the island.
Goat cheese making is a 3-day process that starts with the milking of the goats twice a day. The goats are kept in the barn, away from the cheese-making equipment. The farm sits on a 30-acre lot in the heart of Cormac. While there was a learning curve in raising these goats, the Bennetts also experienced unexpected delays. Since 8th Day Acres is the first, there were no provincial regulations in place governing the farms.
It was a lot of red tape where it was new, but after 5 years, we're finally here making cheese.
8th Day Acres produces cheese flavors such as chives and cranberry that are sold in Coleman stores across the province.
We've come up with the flavoring ourselves, so you don't know how it's going to turn out, but every one has turned out fantastic, and we get great reviews on all of them.
And while my friends here at 8th Day Acres don't know it yet, there are plans for expansion and for a diversification of products. The farm hopes to add cheddar, Gouda, and cheese curds in the future. Troy Turner, CBC News, Cormac.
It's Christmas time in St. John's.
You're coming to the mall to get your Christmas gifts. Why not give a gift to the whole community? CBC's Feed NL Day is Thursday, December 12th. We'll have live music from Damien Follett and other great artists. CBC personalities will be here to wrap your Christmas gifts. And best of all, we're raising funds for your local food bank. Make sure no one in this province goes hungry this Christmas. And on Thursday, December 12th, we'll make sure everyone at the Avalon Mall stays merry.
Welcome back to Here Now. What timing? They're about to light up for Hope. We're just going to take a quick moment for that. Hang on. That's what we call in the business TV magic. Anyway, so as we're down here at Stella Circle's Light Up Hope campaign, and they literally have just illuminated the word hope. But this group offers a lot of services to help people out, people like Adam Harnham. Adam, thanks so much for joining us here today. Adam, do you mind telling us a little bit about your story?
Sure, yeah, not a problem. Well, I'm super excited to be here. Yeah, my life, for 15 years I was involved in a lifestyle of addiction. Through that time, you know, it was very dark. I did manage to, you know, graduate college and university during that time. So I just want to retrack a little bit. So at the age of 12, I started drinking and using drugs. And, you know, it progressively got worse over time. And again, it went to a very dark place. I had a choice. I was either going to die or get help. But I had to ask for it. So I asked for help. I ended up here in St. John's. I got connected through an addiction counselor to Stella Circle's Emmanuel House. So I got into their 4-month rehabilitation program. And in that time, I really built a connection with the people there. You know, they had hope for me, even though I was totally hopeless. And, you know, they believed in me. They empowered me and give me a sense of hope within that things are going to get better, you know, because for a long time, I had all this pain inside and I was just running. But, you know, at Emmanuel House, they allowed me to start looking at that pain, because until we look at that pain, it just stays in there and you continue that cycle. So
it's a very emotional story. How does it feel for you now? You're 3 years out of this. You're at an event like this that's raising money for an organization that helped you out. How do you feel being here tonight, seeing the word hope lit up there behind you?
It's absolutely amazing. I'm honored to be here. I'm just so thankful. You know, I'm in a place in my life now where I'm giving back, and like hope is essentially, you know, I have so much hope now. I'm in college now, studying child and youth care with addiction support, hoping to help troubled youth in the future.
So I just want him to wrap this up. So you're gone back to school, and what do you want to do with your life now, Adam?
Well, I have a whole lot of purpose now. I'm just letting things happen. I know that I'm a leader. You know, people have built me up and allowed me to become that leader now. So now it's just allowing it to happen. You know, having faith and trust that things are going to get better.
Helping others like you got helped out, eh?
Exactly, yeah.
All right, man, I appreciate your time. Yeah. Thanks so much for coming in, man. I appreciate you telling your story to us. This is Adam Harnham, an amazing, incredible story, one of the many people who have been helped by Stella's Circle, and with fundraisers like tonight, many more people will be helped as well. Anthony?
Congratulate Adam for us all. That's an amazing story, Jeremy, with lots of hope, just like you said. Thank you very much, Jeremy.
No problem.
Welcome back. Shocking pink. Looks great on Carolyn Stokes, but not so great when I see her building her weather maps.
Yeah, lots of colors on the warnings map tonight. We'll show you what he means by pink.
There.
All that freezing rain, most of the island experiencing that today and tonight. We also have that wreck house wind warning in effect, and we have a special weather statement for the northern peninsula, looking at a wintry mix there, and snowfall warning in effect for southeastern Labrador and the Norman Bay to Lodge Bay area. 15 to 20 centimeters of snow expected there between tonight and tomorrow, and 10 to 15 up through Eagle River and Cartwright. So this is a quick look at tomorrow. 8 degrees as the high in St. John's tomorrow. It's going to be very windy, gusts up to 70, a bit of rainfall in the morning. Looking like a pretty gray day. It's the kind of day where you're going to want your hood up and you're not going to want your umbrella because it'll just get blown away. So for central areas, looking at 6 degrees as the high there with some showers as well for the west coast. Showers there. Those winds will ease from today and tonight. St. Anthony looking at a high of 0 and some of that freezing rain and ice pellets. For the rest of Labrador rather, we have that snowfall persisting in the Cartwright area and through the Straits tomorrow, and Nain looking at a mix of sun and cloud and -3 as the high. So Wednesday evening, you can see that that snow is still falling for southeastern Labrador, but slowly it'll start to move away. And then as we get into Thursday, we have another system coming through. Looks very similar to the one we just saw with the rain for the east and then snow in the west, and that messy mix right there in the middle. So Thursday, 3 o'clock, that's what it's going to look like. We're looking at more rain in the east, more snow in the west, and also staying pretty windy as well, looking at that snow moving up towards southeastern Labrador once again. So another windy day on Thursday, 5 degrees as the high there. That mix of snow and rain for central. Snowfall in Corner Brook, -2 as the high there. Lab City looking at a few flurries as well, -11 as the high on Thursday. So Thursday evening into Friday, we have some snowfall for the west coast, more snowfall for Labrador, and it looks like we could see a little bit of rain or that mix of snow and rain for the Avalon and Burin Peninsula. So 1 degree as the high on Thursday, below 0 for the rest of the island, and in Labrador, more snow coming down and cool temperatures in Labrador City, -10 as the high there. So things are going to stay pretty gray. As you can see, for the rest of the week, we have all that wind and some flurries. And then on Sunday, we're looking like it's going to be a cloudy day. That could change between now and then. It's pretty far ahead. So for central areas, some sunshine perhaps on Sunday, -3 as the high there. Saturday looking like a snowy day. Some flurries as well for western Labrador as we head into the weekend, -3 as the high for Labrador rather. Those flurries continuing, and then as we get into Sunday, a mix of sun and cloud and -9 as the high. And for Labrador, perhaps a nice cool, crisp, clear Saturday coming. We'll see, and some flurries then moving in on Sunday. That's your forecast. Anthony, back to you.
Thanks, Carolyn. In national international news, world leaders are in London for a contentious NATO meeting that's set to start tomorrow. Well, today, a series of bilateral meetings dominated the agenda, including the U.S. President's meeting with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Donald Trump appeared almost apologetic for the slow pace of ratification of the trade deal between the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. That's being held up in Congress because of last-minute negotiations.
We look forward to being able to take the vote on USMCA. It's been there for a long time, and at some point, perhaps the president of Mexico, we have a wonderful man there, you know, he really is. He's been a wonderful man. They'll get tired, and the prime minister will get tired. He'll say, look, let's forget this deal, and I could understand it if you did it.
Of course, Prime Minister was quick to assure Trump that Canada had no intention of withdrawing from that hard negotiated agreement. Trump also had a tense meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron, who he disagrees with on many things, including the future of NATO. This evening, NATO leaders were greeted by the Queen at Buckingham Palace before attending a dinner to be hosted by British Prime Minister Boris Johnson at 10 Downing Street.
Well, this is a beautiful sunrise this morning, actually, somewhere in the province. I'll let you know where this photo was taken right after the break. Showed you this beautiful sunrise before the break. I'm sure a lot of people guessed where this was taken in beautiful Lab West.
I had voices in my head telling me that. No, there's nothing wrong with me. That's our technician and ace wizard behind the scenes, Rod Dobbin. He is from the big land, and he kind of identified it right away. Beautiful shot.
Thank you, Dwayne Head.
Much appreciated. All right, well, as you can imagine, if you've been following politics, you're looking right now, that's a live shot.
So, Mr. Speaker, putting someone like Ms. Foote in this position
Premier
is
Ball
not new to
speaking about the entire Carla Foote affair. They are debating the Mitchell-Moore report. The minister might be making an apology. That's not going to happen tonight, though. That will happen tomorrow, so they'll pick this up tomorrow. And, of course, we will be covering this because an apology, that might not satisfy the opposition. So a lot of interest right now into how this is going to resolve itself over the next coming days, and we'll have the very latest for you tomorrow on Here and Now.
And you'll be up at the house tomorrow as well.
Yes, that is my destiny.
This story's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Not yet. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night, everyone.